Hey everyone, welcome back to Mind Matters. I'm Zoe.
And I'm Lily. Today we're diving into something that almost all of us have felt at some point: imposter syndrome.
Have you ever aced a test but thought, I just got lucky? Or joined a club and felt like everyone else was smarter or more talented than you? Maybe you've even scrolled through social media and thought, why does everyone else have it together except me?
It's that nagging feeling that you don't really deserve your accomplishments, that somehow you've tricked people into thinking that you're better than you actually are. But here's the truth: you do belong. And today we're breaking down why these thoughts pop up, and more importantly, how to shut them down.
So what exactly is imposter syndrome? It's the little voice in your head telling you that you're not actually as smart, talented, or capable as people think you are. It's when no matter how much you achieve, you still convince yourself it was just luck or a mistake.
It happens all the time. Maybe you get picked for a leadership role and immediately think they probably just didn't have any other options. Or you get a compliment on your art, music, or performance, and instead of saying thanks, you downplay it by saying, oh, it's nothing special.
Even when you succeed, you feel like you don't deserve it. And the scariest part? No amount of achievement seemed to make that feeling go away. But here's the thing, you're not alone in this.
Imposter syndrome doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's shaped by the world around us.
Let's start with social media. We see people posting their achievements, their awards, their perfect lives. But what we don't see? The struggles, the late nights, the self-doubt they feel behind the scenes. It creates this illusion that everyone else has their life figured out, except us.
Then there's school. When you're surrounded by high achievers, it's easy to feel like you're the one who doesn't measure up. Maybe you're in a tough class where everyone seems to grasp concepts faster than you do, and you start wondering, am I even smart enough to be here?
And let's talk about the way we've been raised. If you've always been told, wow, you're so smart, instead of, wow, you worked really hard on that, you might feel like your worth is tied to always being naturally gifted. So when you struggle with something, it feels like proof that you were never that smart to begin with. But guess what? Struggling is part of learning. It doesn't mean you don't belong.
Now, let's take a deeper look at how imposter syndrome actually impacts the way we act and think.
When you constantly doubt yourself, it can make you hold back in ways you don't even realize. You might avoid raising your hand in class because you're afraid of looking dumb. You might pass up on applying for leadership positions, scholarships, or competitions because you tell yourself, I'm not good enough for that. Over time, these little moments of self-doubt add up, limiting the opportunities you allow yourself to take.
Imposter syndrome can also make you overwork yourself. Instead of feeling proud of your accomplishments, you push yourself harder and harder, trying to prove that you really deserve your success. You might stay up all night studying for a test just to make sure that no one finds out that you're not actually smart. This kind of pressure can lead to burnout, stress, and anxiety.
And then there's the way imposter syndrome affects relationships. If you feel like a fraud, you might hesitate to open up to your friends, thinking they'll realize I'm not as cool or talented as they thought. You might downplay your achievements in conversations or avoid sharing your goals because you're afraid people will think you're arrogant. But in reality, sharing your successes can inspire and uplift those around you.
To sum it up, imposter syndrome doesn't just live in your head. It influences your actions, your confidence, and your mindset. Thankfully, there are many ways you can fight against imposter syndrome. Here are 4 things you can start doing today.
Number 1. Recognize it for what it is. The next time that voice in your head says, you don't deserve this, pause and think. That's imposter syndrome talking. Acknowledge it. Call it out. Because once you see it for what it is, it starts to lose its power.
2. Keep a wins list. Write down every achievement, big or small. Finished a difficult project? Wrote an essay you're proud of? Helped a friend through a tough time? That's all proof of your success, and it isn't an accident. It's earned. And when self-doubt creeps in, go back and read your list.
3. Talk about it. Sometimes even the most successful people, actors, athletes, scientists, struggle with imposter syndrome. Did you know that even Emma Watson and Tom Hanks have admitted to feeling like frauds? When you open up about it, you realize you're not alone, and that those doubts aren't reality.
4. Remind yourself that growth is uncomfortable. Learning and improving always comes back with moments of doubt. That feeling of not knowing enough, it doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're growing, and growth is what success is built on.
Let me leave you with this. You are not a fraud. You are not a mistake. You are learning, growing, and doing the best you can, and that's enough.
So, here's a challenge. Take 2 minutes and write down 3 things you're proud of today. Maybe it's getting through a tough day, speaking up in class, or just making it out of bed when you didn't really feel like it. Whatever it is, it counts.
And if you feel like sharing, send us a message through our Instagram at Take2initiative. Let's remind each other that we do belong.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Mind Matters. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend who might need to hear it. You are more than capable than you think. Believe in yourself.
See you next time.